The antique Claude Delage racer is finally finished. Claude Delage started building bicycles sometime around 1910 in Clichy, France, just north of Paris. In this photo of an early French bike shop, we can see high on the wall a poster advertising his bikes. And here's an example of the same poster up close. While many French bike companies of that era used ornate artwork with flowing nudes, it appears that Claude preferred the more humorous images to advertise his bikes. Not so humorous is this poster from around 1913 of Léon Georget, known as the Beast, riding a Delage bike, depicting one of his many victories in the De Bol d'Or, a famous French 24-hour endurance race. From the very beginning, it seems that Delage was focused on racing. The earliest team sponsorship I could find was 1914, but by the early 20s, riders in the Tour de France were riding his bikes, and in 1924, Léon Davos came in 15th in the Paris-Roubaix riding a Delage bike, while Camille Van de Castille, another Delage rider, came in 44th. But he didn't just make racers. This calendar from 1924 shows he also made more upright designs. Like many bike manufacturers of the time, he also made motorcycles. Both the Delage bikes and motorcycles were made into the late 20s. Here's a transitional motorized Delage from around 1913. Fitted with a cyclo-tractor, this was the precursor to the motorcycle and moped, and the bike itself bears a strong resemblance to mine. And speaking of mine, here is mine, all ready to ride. I'd like to thank both Ed Litton, frame maker extraordinaire, and John at Stone Cyclery in Alameda for their help in getting the bike in riding condition. I'd also like to thank Valentino in Italy, known as La Bamboo on Etsy, for making the gorgeous custom wooden handlebar grips for the bike. I love this head badge. The handlebars on the bike are not adjustable in the stem. It's the way they made it, and that's the way you're going to ride it. One of my favorite things about the bike is this amazing headset. It looks like a bell, just incredible. The fork crown is, again, it's just incredible. It looks like something out of Metropolis. It's beautiful. The brakes are clamp-on. They just clamp right on the fork. And this was originally, I think, a fixed gear bike, and these brakes were an option. The crank with the maker's name on it, something you see a lot on bikes of this era. The pedals with the maker's name, these are beautiful pedals. I love the gold caps on the end. I'm kind of afraid riding it that one of these caps are going to fall off somewhere and I'm never going to find it. Shiny new spokes. The old spokes were rusted and needed to be replaced. Here is the flip-flop hub. On the left side is the fixed gear option, so you can flip the wheel around and ride fixie. This is one of the beautiful bell wing nuts holding the wheels on the bike. There is the oiler port on the bottom bracket, again something you see a lot on bikes of this era. Here are a couple of close-ups of the very French gendarme police hat rims made by Mephisto. This was before the new spokes were put on, so you can see those old rusty spokes. Definitely an interesting way to tighten your bottom bracket here. And here I am trying out the bike for the very first time, and I must admit, somewhere in the back of my mind I expected the whole bike just to fall apart as soon as I put my weight on it. But that did not happen, and I also expected those tires just to roll right off those hookless rims, but that didn't happen either. So, success! So what does the bike feel like? Well, it feels like a tank. It weighs in at a hefty 40 pounds, and once you get going, man, it really wants to go. It's also a really quiet bike. The drivetrain is really quiet. Just listen to this. For riders today able to compete and finish the Tour de France, it's an amazing achievement, but those are 15-pound bikes. Can you imagine what it would be like riding a race like that on these 40-pound bikes? Those guys back then must have been monsters. The brakes on the bike leave a lot to be desired. They actually remind me of 1980s Super Record Campy brakes, but they will stop the bike. Thanks very much everyone for coming along with me as we checked out this antique Claude Delage racing bike. Had a lot of fun getting it ready to go. Look forward to many miles on it, and we're going to be doing many more videos where we feature this bike. So until next time, we will see you out on the road.